we go.
One day.
That's it, one day. Okay. Still lingering in our memories. Odell Beckham took the field with no shirt on and then proceeded to drop a bunch of passes against the Packers and have a really, really terrible game. Then after the loss, he reportedly punched that hole in the wall. The New York media having a blast with all of this, as they would. Shipwreck, writes the New York Post. Hey, Odell, your thoughts on people bringing up that boat?
It started before the game, though. It happened early, and it did a great job at putting it in people's mind that, okay, now if the Giants lose, it's because you went to Miami. It doesn't really connect to me. There was nothing that could connect 7 days ago to today and how we came out and played and executed. There's just nothing in the world that's not realistic. I think it did a great job at creating distractions for us. And it's unfortunate. That's just the way this world is.
Oh, Odell's in this world the worst. It's fair to connect that boat trip with what happened yesterday.
Absolutely not. It's completely absurd to talk about a week ago. That had a tremendous effect on what you did in the moment, as we saw yesterday. Look, I had my greatest game ever in college after having my greatest night ever, talking about breaking curfew and going out there and balling out. Let me tell you what happened on that game.
That's you.
I'm going to tell you, and I've seen many players do it. This is the night after a hydration situation versus Yale, that tremendous BCS championship
Yes, that's
team.
a whopper.
National Player of the Week. I had 2 sacks, forced to recover the fumble, got an interception and a rushing touchdown. But let me tell you about the night before.
Oh, God.
It was multiple plays
Are
made.
we allowed to know this?
With multiple players. I'm telling you, multiple categories, and I scored more the night before. All of that was playing into my head, and people were saying, let me tell you the real. Everyone wants to connect it. Oh, my God. Even myself, I'm like, how am I going to play in the moment? You know how you play in the moment? How you play in the moment. Don't go back a week or the night before.
Was that on social media when you were scoring more than you scored? Was that on Instagram?
Nah.
Was that on Twitters?
Nah.
Was that on the Facebook? Because that's what you did, Odell. You put it out there for us to talk about. So you can't now be a victim because we're talking about it. Now, personally, I don't think what you did a week ago necessarily affects what happened on the field.
He could have been practicing catching.
He could have practiced. He could have brought his hands to the game. He didn't bring a shirt. He didn't bring his hands either. But here's the thing.
Maybe they're cold.
When you start this fight, the media is going to finish it.
Thank you.
So you should have expected us to go at it. Yes, listen, can I get that little stand-in to help illustrate what I'm talking about? When you pretend as if you are all that, and then you go and you drop touchdown passes, we're going to talk about you. We're going to make fun of you. We're going to put a crying meme on your face.
You really going to do that?
But this is a lesson to kids. Really Marcellus,
I love this.
You might be the exception to the rule, I think there are some people that excel no matter what. But you're going to put a picture out there of you guys having fun on a boat, which I have no problem with. I don't care. It's the same thing when we used to do the Romo Jessica Simpson thing. It's the optics of it. If you're going to do it, then you damn well better come out and win that game. And you specifically better have a great day. And neither one of those things.
So all the other games he had that were bad and there were no boat trip. What's the correlation there?
It's just the optics. I hope he learned a lesson. I hope it's the lesson about if you're sick or whatever and you don't go... You need to come in and be the best you can be if you're putting that out in the world.
Or don't party with Bieber, one of the two.
Oh, God, why would anybody do that? I want to discuss another thing that happened in the game because Aaron Rodgers went all biblical on the Giants, completing another ridiculous Hail Mary, this time to Randall Cobb. At the end of the first half, it was backbreaking. Pass sent the Packers in the break with an 8-point lead, crushing Giants fans everywhere. He seems to do it a lot, LZ, but these Hail Marys. How much skill, how much luck?
All skill.
Okay.
I don't even want to call them Hail Marys anymore. They're long passes with a lot of air underneath because they seem to be going right to the person. They seem to be going right to this receiver's hands. They're not being bobbed around by a bunch of different people. There's not even jostling happening. It's like a direct pass. It's a direct reception to his receiver. So I'm just going to start calling them long passes.
Well, I'm going to call them A-bombs because you know what? They're not Hail Marys. This is a skill being manifested because a guy has figured out the art and the science of a Hail Mary play. You heard him talk about it post-game. He throws it higher than others. And we're used to seeing this in practice, but we're not seeing these numbers. 60% completion percentage on Hail Marys, while the rest of the entire league is at 18.8%. So you can call it luck all you want, but it's not that. It's a guy who throws it like a jugs machine. The jugs machine that throws it so high in the air, impossible to measure or judge where it lands. except those Green Bay Packers because they are used to it in practice.
Teardrops.
Long passes with lots of air underneath them.
Yes.
Got it. Let's talk about the hit that rocked Miami yesterday. Dolphins QB Matt Moore just rolls up. It's on.
Little bit.
A vicious shot from Steelers linebacker Bud Dupree during the first half of the AFC wildcard game. Bone crushing, and it left him dazed and led to a brief scrum between the two teams. Now, he only missed one play. That, I'm sure, will be a topic of conversation later on. But was the hit by Dupree dirty or not?
No, it wasn't dirty. People got to remember in football, unintended consequences will occur in a violent sport, especially when you're dealing with a player who has a descending pad level. I got caught by Peyton Manning one time because he was getting hit and he started to lower his body. So Dupree's coming in top speed, amazing hit. But then as Matt Moore is starting to get smaller in the moment, he doesn't make that adjustment. He didn't actually intend to hit him in the chin, barely got him in the chin. It was right here with a little unintended consequence to the chin.
Man, it looked like it hurt to me.
I mean, it
I was just saying, but it didn't look dirty.
It didn't look dirty.
I can understand being upset, but if you're that mad and you're on his team, you should have been there to block for him. Or he should have ran out of bounds.
I mean, you could have a lot of
there's
things
two
could
solutions, right?
Well, yeah, and another solution is not to put him back in a play later.
That's, I think, what is going to end up being a problem.
I'm sure he passed the concussion protocol just fine.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm sure.
Can you see me?
Yeah.
Yes. All right.
Yes,
Go back.
our starter is hurt. Can you play?
That's
Yeah.
we got nothing else.
You're good.
We need to talk about men with no shirts on again, please. Thank you. It was not just Odell Beckham and the rest of the Giants receivers who chose to warm up with no shirts on. Ryan Shazier of the Steelers also chose to get ready shirtless. Now, personally, Michelle Denise Beadle thinks this looks stupid, but I didn't play football. So, is there any practical reason to do that?
You're looking at the wrong person.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's cold outside.
It was
and when it's
beyond.
cold outside, I like to be dressed.
Right.
Now, maybe they were trying to psych out the Packers and say, hey, we're not cold. This doesn't bother us. I think that's stupid because the Packers live in that. They already know it's cold. So they're looking at you like you're a fool because it's cold outside.
So you never did that with your taco meat out? You never did that with your chest hairs out? Me either. You know why? Because I played in Buffalo and I knew how cold it was. And I used to laugh when cats would come off the bus and sometimes using overcompensation efforts like this. No shirt, no sleeves. Guess what? I'm ready for the elements. What you just told me is that the elements are already in your head because who are you
That's
answering
Pittsburgh, by the way.
to say this is not cold?
Not that, the other one.
Like, it's cold to every single player, but now you're going to act like I'm ready for the battle. The pregame battle with the weather's still going to be there. So this overcompensation is an old trick, and usually it comes back to haunt the players that do it.
Screams inexperience.
Absolutely asinine.
And immaturity, because you know what? Put yourself in the best position to play. Don't put yourself in a position that looks great to everyone out there, but you're cold. It makes no sense.
You're cold.
Although you could make the argument that at some point, how can you be even colder? Because there were moments yesterday I was like, this looks miserable. But it gives us an excuse to do other shirtless moments. Great shirtless moments from history.
I knew we only had one. Tebow.
He looks cold,
And
too.
it's in slow-mo, which is like
for real.
3 shirtless moments.
Oh, yeah.
Our good friend T.O.
T.O. right now. We need look at that.
look at that.
Game on.
He
Cocoa
can
butter.
still do that, by the way.
Nothing but cocoa.
And the best,
butter.
save the best for last.
Sweat.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Is
My
that poop?
spirit animal.
Hey, those are abs, though, somewhere in there. There's some abs in there, for real.
Yeah, that's what I tell myself all the time. I'm like, somewhere, I'll need to stop knocking Odell down off that.
I know,
Welcome
he
back.
wants to
Did not take long for Grayson Allen. He caught up in another kicking incident in the second game back from suspension. He did that. No foul called. Still got a lot of attention, obviously. The ACC looked into it and issued a statement saying there's nothing conclusive that can be determined. Weird, it keeps happening.
Yeah.
That's like a statement about life, if you want to do it that way.
Are we giving
conclusive
them
to
look?
be
I
determined.
stand with what I said last time. I don't need any adults to step in at this point. If you're a person on another team playing this guy, send your worst player in, let him take him out, and we all move on with our lives.
Goon squad,
Why
huh?
is this continuing to happen?
It's a goon squad
Yeah,
moment.
goon squad it up.
You know, I flip-flopped on my argument with this one because looking at it with the optics, you can say, okay, he got off-balance shoulders in front of his knees, athletic move. Well, not that.
Yeah, that was
Very athletic.
Athletic move. Not that
Very
either.
athletic, yes.
Athletic move means I'm going to tip forward. But one thing that you have to realize is that human bodies are not rigid. We're not pendulums. So guess what? When you go forward, your foot doesn't have to kick up unless there's a voluntary effort to contract your hamstring and lift it up. Looking at it again, He did that on purpose, but he thought he was slick enough to get away with it.
He comes back from his suspension, and he's actually kicking higher. Like, I think that was the highest kick out of all the kicks that he kicked.
He's got a problem. He's got some anger management issues. There's something real wrong with this kid.
He in that Draymond 101.
I mean, look at that.
Look at that. He graduated Draymond school.
It's so ingrained in him now that I don't even...
Right. You see, watch his feet. Watch how he... This is a dat dudes. He actually switches his feet to make sure he can kick them.
Right.
The right foot is not supposed to land at that moment.
Him out. That's it.
He's doing it on purpose, bro.
Moving on. According to ESPN's Football Power Index, Alabama has a 60% chance to win tonight's national championship game against Clemson. Players for Alabama, however, consider themselves underdogs. Linebacker Ryan Anderson told reporters, "We do feel like we're underdogs right now." Teammate Tim Williams had this to say, "The media is selling us as possible underdogs, possible upset. We know what we have to come out there and do at the end of the day. Put the cleats on." I feel like you have to do more than just put the cleats on, but Alabama and the word underdog. That seems ridiculous to me, no?
It does, but this is not psychosomatics. This is a team that actually believes they're underdogs. Think about these three levels. Offensively, last week they had their worst game ever. 57 pass yards by Jalen Hurts. They're looking at themselves like, we got questions over there. Defensively, last year, giving up all those points and over 400 yards to Deshaun Watson, they got question marks and they need to redeem themselves. And most importantly, who is Jalen Hurts going to hear in his ear this week? Oh, it ain't Lane Kiffin. It's his new offensive coordinator and Coach Sark. So I think
McSark.
If you put all those three things together and mix it up, it could be a scenario where you're thinking you're an underdog.
I mean, you need to walk into this game. They do need to walk into this game thinking they're an underdog to make sure they don't take them for granted. Because you're right, last year they could have lost that game. And by the way, Deshaun threw for 400 yards. He didn't have his best receiver. Guess who's showing up? The best receiver. The one that just got 1,200 yards this season. So they need to be worried about that. And I wouldn't even look at what they did against Ohio State as enough to be in fear, though that was pretty scary. The defense has given up less than 14 points a game since their one loss. So the defense is going to be tough. Hurts is not that great of a passer. He likes to beat you more with their legs. If they force him to throw the ball more, they could be in trouble.
I agree with that.
I hope you're not bringing all that information to the MegaCast. That was too much.
No.
Too many numbers.
Just a Ciroc bottle.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, go team,
MegaCast,
go team.
ESPNU.
Is that legal?
That's the cool room. You're going to want to watch that one. Anyways, next up, that was just an impromptu promo. The Lions lost to the Seahawks Saturday, 26-6. I'm sorry, LZ. There were quite a few controversial calls during the game, including a face mask that wasn't called, a Russell Wilson block in the back that wasn't called, and a play which apparently is not pass interference. Anquan Bolden had this to say about the calls. Quote, "There were some calls that left us shaking our head. Anytime you come into a place like this, you know you have to play more than just the team." Ooh. Refs against the Lions, do tell. Right?
Well, first of all, the worst call this weekend was calling fences hitting fences. Let's get that out the way. That was the worst. All right? So now that we move past that, there were definitely some calls, or twice. There were definitely some calls out there that were highly questionable. Like, and I'm not even just talking about the obvious face mask that allowed them to get a touchdown to begin with, but what about those two calls against Anquan Bolden? Oh. Are you serious? What? I mean, this is football, Marcellus. It's okay to do some bumping, especially in the playoffs. If the hit on Moore wasn't dangerous, then how in the heck is what Anquan Bolden did roughing or unnecessary roughness? It was absolutely ridiculous.
It is a good point.
It's not a good point.
Except for it was a different game and different refs. And
it's not a good point because this is what a loser fan sounds like. This is what a Lions fan would say right now. Look, you're a loser fan right now in the moment. And I've been there before on the field. You have no... That wasn't a face mask when I touchdown? Dude, you want to talk about getting hosed on the football field?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
All right.
Was it a face mask?
Example A. This is the worst scenarios of talking about getting hosed on the football field. It was called a miracle because no one with two eyeballs could say that ball went backwards. But guess what they did? Not only said that was a lateral instead of a forward pass, took away the #1 defense and the Buffalo Bills' opportunity to go to the Super Bowl right there in that moment. And y'all talking about
just holding on.
Yeah,
he is holding on.
He is holding on.
Post-traumatic stress over here. You talking about a face mask that should have been called? Come on, man. That's the most blatant ever.
Were they in Detroit? Because that's all I care about. Are the Detroit Lions we're talking about? That's all I care about. And there were multiple plays out there.
I was sad for you. I thought of you.
Yeah, home field advantage. Sometimes the fine print of that means they'll get the benefit of the doubt. You guys got to win a couple more games.
I feel like all my friends' teams lost. It was a rough weekend for everybody.
All the road teams.
We're going to all go see Hidden Fences together.
Such a great movie about the fences that are hidden. Coming up, 15-year-old Fran Bellaby throws down the first dunk in Colorado Grove basketball history. I believe I said high school, by the way.
Yeah.
Black Girl Magic.
I don't know about, hey, lady. This is SportsNation. She got up, too.
She's 15.
Nice.